Hello, thank you for being here today. My name is Annie Lori King, and I'm a graduate student at Arizona State University, getting my master's degree in Family and Human Development with a Child Life specialization. I'm here to talk to you about implementing a Child Life Services team as a part of the American Red Cross. Children face unique needs and potential long-lasting negative effects from being involved in natural disasters. Three main areas that may be affected are physical health, mental health, and academic attainment. This population relies on help from others both before and after disasters and have special needs that differ from adults. While the American Red Cross does provide services to children and families affected by natural disasters, more is needed. By including teams of certified child life specialists, the American Red Cross can support the psychosocial needs of children, which desperately need to be addressed to ensure their continued healthy development. So, who is affected? As we have unfortunately seen over the past few months alone, natural disasters devastate the places where they occur, putting families at high risk for displacement, injury, and even death. Children are an especially vulnerable population. Disasters happen all over the world, affecting more than 66 million children a year. In the United States, nearly 14% of children ages 2 to 17 have been exposed to a natural disaster. While there are some areas that may be more prone to natural disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, tsunamis, floods, droughts, and earthquakes can happen all over the country. Children depend on their communities and the adults in their lives to take care of their needs. When these adults and community programs are incapable of caring for children and providing for them due to the devastation of a natural disaster, children undoubtedly suffer. This is where the American Red Cross comes to the rescue. As you are aware, the American Red Cross responds to a disaster every 8 minutes. From small house fires to multi-state natural disasters, the American Red Cross goes wherever they're needed so people can have clean water, safe shelter, and hot meals when they need them the most. So, what is still needed? Meals, clean water, shelter, and medical support are absolutely necessary in the face of disaster. While the American Red Cross does have mental health volunteers to support families and to promote coping, professional help is needed, particularly for children. Let's take a look at some of the common reactions children have to natural disasters. Typical child reactions to natural disasters and traumatic events include post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, uncontrollable and intense grief, disrupted eating and sleeping patterns, aggression, depression, anxiety, decline in academic performance, peer conflict, and a low level of interest in activities previously enjoyed. These reactions are based on a number of factors, including a child's developmental stage, level of cognitive and emotional maturity, and coping strategies. In children who have been exposed to a natural disaster, intrusive negative thoughts are more likely than in those who have not. How can we help children in this vulnerable situation? The National Commission on Children and Disasters suggests addressing issues of child physical health and trauma by ensuring access to pediatric medical professionals, specific pediatric training of response teams, physical and mental health services for all children during recovery, comprehensive pre-hospital pediatric care, and adequate disaster preparedness by child care, primary, and secondary education systems. Pediatric healthcare professionals, like CCLSs, are in a position to encourage families and communities to prepare for potential disasters, to provide support to children and families in the immediate aftermath of a disaster, as well as throughout the recovery process, to share advice and strategies with caregivers on how to promote and support children's adjustment, coping, and resiliency, provide timely triage to identify and refer children with or at considerable risk of developing adjustment difficulties to appropriate services, to serve as consultant to schools, child care centers on preparedness, response, and recovery efforts, and to advocate at the local, state, and national levels for a state of preparedness and services to meet the needs of children affected by disasters. All of the previous points are reflective of exactly what child life specialists are trained to do. Child life services provided by certified child life specialists can assess the needs of children and help support them through such tragic events. Child life specialists typically work with children in a healthcare setting. They strive to promote optimum development of children and of their families, to maintain normal routines, and to minimize psychological trauma. Child life specialists can provide similar assistance to children who have experienced a natural disaster. So who are Certified Child Life Specialists, or CCLSs? They are educated, experienced, certified, and recognized professionals. Certified Child Life Specialists are professionals that are educated in child development with at least a bachelor's degree in a related field, someone who has undergone a 480-hour internship supervised by a CCLS with more than 4,000 hours work experience, someone who has passed a certification exam and is recognized as a certified professional under the Association of Child Life Professionals. Certified child life specialists know how children cope. There are particular elements that influence how a child copes with a natural disaster, an emergency, or trauma. Particularly, cognitive development greatly influences how a child copes, and an understanding of these developmental differences is vital when providing support and intervention. With their knowledge in child development, certified child life specialists are attuned to the different cognitive responses to trauma depending on a child's developmental level and how to effectively support their coping. Child life specialists support children and their coping through play activities, psychological preparation, effective communication, identification, and rehearsal of coping mechanisms, and emotional support. Child Life Services does this by using a defined model called APIE, which stands for Assessment, Plan, Intervention, and Evaluation. During the assessment portion of APIE, a child life specialist gathers information about the child, family, and the situation and circumstances they are facing. Combined, this information provides the child life specialist with the stress potential the child is facing. Based on this ongoing assessment, child life specialists form a plan that has an expected benefit and end goal. Plans can include play activities to normalize the experience with children, to introduce child-friendly coping strategies like blowing bubbles, and provide psychological preparation by familiarizing the child with their new environment. The intervention portion of APIE is made up of the direct provisions of services by the child life specialist, and usually begins with the building of a supportive relationship and rapport between the CCLS and the patient, and is the execution of the plan based on assessment. The final portion of the process is evaluation. In the evaluation, the certified child life specialist determines if the goals of the intervention were achieved and to revise the plan if needed for the future. Due to the high number of children that a child life specialist may see, the APIE process may have to be quick and prioritized based on most needed cases. So how can we bring child life services to disaster relief? There is currently one organization steered toward outsourcing child life specialists to aid in disaster relief. Since its inception in 2013, Child Life Disaster Relief, CLDR, has trained over 250 certified child life specialists in disaster relief. The CLDR has partnered with only one local chapter of the American Red Cross in Cincinnati, which has recognized the need for and utilized the services of these child life specialists. The following are examples of worksheets that Child Life Disaster Relief uses with children to encourage emotional expression and to initiate coping. This worksheet presents the child with the opportunity to imagine what 3 wishes they would ask a genie for. This helps the child conceptualize what it is they are longing for following a natural disaster. While some of these wishes may be attainable, like to go back to school, they may also include wishes that are unattainable, such as that the natural disaster never happened, that they would have their home and belongings back, or even that someone they loved wasn't dead. By examining these desires, a child can begin to cope with the realities of what has happened simply by recognizing them. This All About Me worksheet is something that may be familiar to a child, as they are often used in schools. It asks children to identify some characteristics about themselves, such as things they love, things that the child is good at, things that make the child special, as well as a self-portrait. Not only does this worksheet help the child focus on who they are and their positive attributes, it can help a child life specialist gauge how the child sees themselves and how they feel about themselves. This relaxation exercise focuses a child's mind on using their breathing to bring positive thoughts in and letting negative thoughts out. The child picks a color to represent good things and a color to represent the scary or upsetting things, coloring one balloon each color. The worksheet tells the child life specialist to instruct the child to imagine breathing in the good color while breathing out the bad color. The CCLS can then tell the child that when they are feeling overwhelmed, sad, or scared, to repeat this exercise, slowly breathing in the good and slowly releasing the bad with each breath. Having this imagery can help a child visualize how to take relaxing breaths. These worksheets focus on identifying emotions. Sometimes it is difficult for children to label how they are feeling when asked. By creating a visual representation of the emotion on something other than themselves can help the child relate. In addition, seeing another being display these emotions and coming up with reasons why they may be feeling a certain way helps send the message to the child that they are not alone. These specific worksheets ask the child to identify why the dog might be excited and to name some things that make the child feel excited, why the frog is feeling happy and what makes them happy, why the elephant is sad and things that make the child sad, and what is making the monkey scared and what types of things make the child scared too. Labeling emotions and their causes is a key step in creating emotional intelligence in children and in increasing their coping skills. This worksheet is a fantastic way to help the child feel more empowered in a situation when their autonomy has been stripped from them and in which they have little to no control. Simply the image of a superhero can invoke feelings of hope and power in a child. The worksheet prompt says, "If I ruled the world for a day, I would." This open-ended proposition can help a child envision what they could use their minds and power to accomplish and give them a sense of control, even if in an imaginary way. When a child is filling this out and brainstorming, a child life specialist can encourage the child to think of ways they can do this now in a more realistic and immediate way. Worksheets are just one tool child life specialists use with children in these types of situations. Other play tools include medical play kits to familiarize children with the instruments that will be used on them if they need medical intervention, or organized games like Stop and Go, where music is played and repeatedly stopped, and children move and freeze to the actions, so they can regain a sense of control over their bodies and surroundings. As stated by Child Life Disaster Relief, we believe our child life skills and expertise has a unique value within the field of disaster relief. In fact, according to the American Psychological Association, the best evidence-based interventions are ones that are implemented by individuals who are trained and have experience working with crisis, disaster response, PTSD, and children's grief responses. Interventions that are culturally sensitive, developmentally appropriate, and shaped by the survivor's needs. Interventions that allow children to resume familiar roles and responsibilities, such as going to school and having children engage in developmentally appropriate tasks, include parents and other caregivers. Interventions that provide economic relief for families as well as assistance in obtaining health care. Interventions focused on encouraging children to express their feelings about the event, discussing normal reactions, and teaching problem-solving skills. And interventions inclusive of psychoeducational programs for anxiety management and coping skills, and modifying the child's erroneous or maladaptive attributions. If the American Red Cross established a nationwide partnership with CLDR, then the services of child life specialists could be expanded to local chapters across the United States. Research done through CLDR has emphasized the need for these services, but with only one local chapter of the Red Cross using these services, there is definitely room for expansion. In addition to partnering with the CLDR, the American Red Cross can also expand the use of child life services by partnering with the Association of Child Life Professionals. Currently, deployments to disaster areas range from 1 day to 2 weeks, requiring child life specialist volunteers to travel. With these partnerships, child life specialists can be used throughout the American Red Cross chapters and deliver essential services to children nationwide who are subject to disasters. Thank you for your time and attention today. I hope this presentation was informative and helped you see the importance of adding a child life services team to the American Red Cross.